Chris wanted me to come and like help her with the server, so I was like, I'm D&D. And right after I finished D&D, I popped into the chat on my server and talked to Chris for a moment. And then you texted me and you're just like, ready? And I was like, oh shit. And I panicked and I zoomed over to here. So
take your time, you're okay.
You know.
Yeah. No, I get it. Oh my goodness.
Everyone is like, suddenly everyone's just like, yeah, I need your attention now. Also, I have work tomorrow. I have work on Saturday.
Same.
Because I picked up a shift on overnights.
Mm-hmm.
So I have an overnight shift on Saturday. Which isn't that bad. I've done overnights before. It just gives me an excuse to sleep all day. So,
we stand.
Exactly. And then Sunday, I don't have anything, and I don't even know if I work on Monday. So, that's really cool.
My goodness.
I know I work on Thursday, though.
Hey! Yes.
Like, they definitely sent it, did they? That's 12th. I work the 12th. The 12th is tomorrow.
Yes. The 12th is indeed Friday. Yeah. I work tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. I just got my schedule this morning, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So that's nice.
Oh, okay. So I work tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saturday, and then Monday, and then Wednesday and Thursday, and then I work the weekend, and then I've got 4 days off.
I think the only day that we both don't have a day off is, or what we both do have a day off is Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm looking at my thing right now, and it's not great, you know?
Your server?
And somebody was gonna... No, my schedule.
Oh.
Somebody was gonna try and make me work for them the other day, and I fully... It was actually today, I lied. They were gonna try and make me work for them today, and I just said no.
Fair. Very fair.
I said no for a valid reason, considering I was very busy today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to write down all that fun stuff. Anyway, I have my things.
Your things?
My, murder.
Oh, yes.
I have my murder.
You have your murder. So I guess we should introduce today's episode. Then. Glad I was recording. Hey guys. Yeah. I don't remember the script.
Sorry, I got distracted.
You're like, ooh, fascinating murder detail.
Literally, I'm so fucking excited. I've never been this excited over murder.
That's a quote. That's a quote. That's a quote. Yep, that's a quote.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. Welcome to, or welcome back to, Onyx. The podcast that has a new structure, apparently. We're trying something new out. Today we're going to be trying out a fun little structure called Alyssa does paranormal stories and I do murder stories.
And I'm Alyssa.
Yeah. Yep. She's Alyssa. I'm Lily. And if you've been listening for a while, you probably already know that. So anyway, moving on, I don't know. We just need structure, because we've been going like this for a while, and it's just like this really needs like a full structure, because otherwise we're just gonna be sitting here talking about random shit, and it just doesn't work, We need like specific topics, and like it makes it easier to name them. And honestly, I think this might be our first episode on Spotify.
Oh no!
If this goes well, this will be the first episode on Spotify.
Hey,
so
you can look at the bad ones on YouTube.
Yeah, you can look at the bad ones on YouTube. Because I'm trying to make the Spotify all nice and clean and all nice and like pretty, and then the YouTube's just like the shit show,
Oh hell yeah!
Jesus, no, the screaming child.
Calliope, what the hell? Everyone, introductions. That's my niece, who lives with me.
I currently don't have any cats in my room, so I can't say like there might be an interruption. I don't have any cats in here right now, so
fair.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I just cleared my throat and it reminded me of I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
No, and you know the funny thing is that at that exact moment you said that, I remembered the entire conversation and I went, and I'm gonna have to use Audacity for that too, huh?
The funny thing is, we both are really into this one podcast called And That's Why We Drink. And I'm sure we've mentioned this before on the YouTube. How we both are like really into paranormal and true crime. And that's kind of why we're starting our own podcast to do with that stuff now. That's why we're like revamping our structure to go along with that.
But also it's just a better way for us to stay sane.
It's a better way for both of our ADD brains kind of like focus. Because otherwise we're just gonna like keep trailing.
Oh god, yeah.
Off topic.
Yeah.
Small child.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong with her. I know she's tired. She didn't take a nap today. She's gotta be tired. Yeah. But it is early for her, so we'll see. Meanwhile, enjoy the sound of crying children if you're sadistic, I guess. Or if you're not sadistic, maybe that's just your thing.
But yeah, we're gonna try this. We're gonna try this out. As I was gonna say, we're both super into this one podcast called And That's Why We Drink, and the reason why I talked about clearing my throat is because, this is gonna sound really weird. She likes to talk about, when she was editing the episodes before she had somebody else edit them, she always would like, she'd already recognize the throat clearing.
The wavelength of the, if you guys are into audio, the wavelength image for the other co-host's throat clearing.
Yeah, so that's why I find it very entertaining, because I do the same thing.
Immediately.
That's like the first thing that came to mind when I cleared my throat, I'm gonna be honest. I was like, hell.
It did to mine too.
Oh no.
Because you breathed right after it to take a breath to say what you were going to say, and I went, she's gonna say it. She's gonna say it. Oh no.
That's really funny.
It's great.
Anyway, we're gonna move on after that ridiculous little thing.
So, would you like to go first with your murder?
Yeah, I get to do the fun little true crime part. What I'm gonna be doing is I'm going to be doing, each state for right now, like one murder from each state.
Oh my god.
And, I'm starting with Alabama today. Like, that's the first thing, that's the first one in the list, so.
So, Lily?
What?
I already started doing that for my paranormal, but I started with a different state.
Which state did you do?
I started with Missouri, because I went to this location.
Oh, okay. I just started with Alabama, because I'm not gonna know shit about any of these murders unless I, like, is nearby or something, but otherwise, I don't know anything about murders. I can't go see the murder. Like, no. I can't go witness a murder. I hope I never witness a murder, good lord.
Oh man, you would be a mess on there.
I'd be a fucking mess. Well...
You might be, like, really good at it, but then also I feel like the one version of you would be the mess version, and then the other would be like, yeah, he did it. Yep. He pulled out a very specific knife.
I don't know about that, because I don't know about being a mess, considering I'm planning on being a nurse.
I mean...
So maybe I'd be okay, but, you know, I don't know. We'll find out. Hopefully never, actually.
What is it with all my friends and wanting to be nurses or in the medical field? I don't
have
a single friend who doesn't.
Bro.
Yeah, I don't have a single friend who isn't. Except maybe Chloe, but that's the only one. Oh no. Oh man. Without any further ado, tell us about your Alabama murder. I can say that one.
So this takes place in 1888, so it's kind of old.
Ooh.
In December of 1888. To do a little bit of backstory, this is the Hawks murder.
Mm-hmm.
It happened near East Lake in Alabama. If the people who are listening in Alabama know where that is, congratulations, I don't have a clue. I honestly didn't even think about searching for it until just now. So, anyway, but the Hawks were Richard and Emma Hawks. They were married, and they had, I believe, 3 children. Yeah, 3 children. May, Irene, and Willie. Richard and Emma had a failing marriage, because Richard was away a lot on business. Emma was alone with the kids a lot. She was also an alcoholic, because of this.
That's never good.
I'm trying to read more about it. Because I thought I had the information, but it jumps from the information that I have written down, goes from just a little bit of backstory about the family, and then jumps right into the murder, and I'm like...
Just like,
wait, hold on.
No transition there.
I was like, hold on. Anyway, May, eventually, obviously, like I said, Emma was an alcoholic, so May, the oldest sister, started caring for the 2 kids, the 2 other kids, Irene and Willie. So, for the murder, on December 4th, 1888, 2 boaters, John Keith and Ben Kulbalson, Cole Balson? I don't know.
Balson?
Anyway, moving on. They discovered the body of a young white female in East Lake.
Oh.
She was floating face down. The body was laid out to for the world to see. And they took her to a local funeral parlor in hopes someone would be able to identify her. The next day, a local butcher identified her as May Haynes.
Oh.
Hawks, not Haynes. May Hawks.
Okay.
Which was the oldest sister.
Mm-hmm.
What's really weird about this entire situation, honestly, is a lot of people thought that Richard and Emma Hawks, good lord, I can't. What's going on? Why? Brain, come on, cooperate. Anyway, Richard and Emma Hawks, everyone thought they were married. A lot of people were talking about how they were already divorced, and Richard had traveled to Columbus, Mississippi to remarry to somebody. According to their housekeeper, the weekend before May's body was discovered, she saw Richard and May assist Emma with packing, saying that Emma was preparing to travel to Atlanta to pick up her son from Richard's brother's house. That same afternoon, a telegram announced that Richard married the former May's story in Mississippi. The telegram also listed their train itinerary, so when the cops caught up with Richard in Birmingham, they arrested him for murder. He thought that he was like the first person of interest in the murder. Everyone thought that he had murdered his child. You know, like, how sometimes fathers will, like, go on a murdering spree of their children just to start over, like a new start with a new woman. That happens. A lot of times it happens when a father is, like, thinking of divorcing his wife. What'll happen is he kills everyone off. He'll kill the wife and he'll, like, start over. And I don't know why. I don't know why that's the thought process of them. Like, no, why don't you just divorce them and say, peace, I don't want any interaction. Like, you don't have to... You don't have to kill them all.
You don't have to go like, oh, well, this didn't work out, and go, all right, time to stabby, maybe make a noose or something.
Yeah, you don't have to,
The way you opened that up, though, you know how a man, you know how your father just goes ahead and...
I could have, like, changed it a little bit.
No, I love it. I love it.
On his way to jail.
Oh.
When Richard was on his way to jail, he claimed innocence. But while he was in jail, he was writing letters to his new bride seeking forgiveness for some reason. Which is interesting. On December 7th, 1888, May Hawes?
Hawks?
I don't know anymore. His new wife admitted that Richard told her that he was divorced and only had one son, Willie. Sadly, the following day, Emma's beaten body was discovered in Lakeview Park. It had been weighed down with iron. A riot soon broke out, demanding Irene to be found. The lake was drained, and Irene's body was approximately 30 feet from Emma's. Like Emma's body, Irene's was also weighted down with iron.
No.
So, thus, Mans really said, I only want a son.
Wow.
So at this point, Emma, his old wife, and his 2 daughters are dead. They were all murdered. May being drowned, and then Emma and Irene being beaten.
Jesus Christ, that's personal.
Yeah, exactly. On April 22nd, 1889, the trial began at Jefferson County courthouse. According to prosecutors, Richard's motive for murdering May was so that she wouldn't tell on him for murdering her mother and younger sister. The ultimate reason why he murdered all 3 was in order to remarry. He had to dispose of his wife and children first. On May 3rd, 1889, while deliberating for only 55 minutes, the jury decided that Richard deserved the death penalty. During his last month in jail, he admitted to his younger brother and guard that he paid John Wiley, an associate, to murder Emma and Irene. He didn't want May murdered. However, when May found out he was responsible for the death of her mother and sister, he knew he had to do something to keep her from telling her. So Richard intoxicated May and drowned her in the East Lake.
Jeez.
In February 28th, 1890, good lord, I can't number, Richard was executed. People were paying as much as $200 for tickets to watch the execution.
What the fuck? What?
His associate, John Wiley, was eventually brought to trial for the murders of Emma and Irene, but due to lack of evidence, the case was dismissed. So that was the Alabama murders.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
I really rushed through all that information. However,
wow.
it's a lot of information.
Oh man. Oh no.
Yeah, no, that's one of the worst possible murders that I could have found I scrolled through a list of murders in Alabama. There's websites for murders.
Yeah, of course.
Just for you to find, specific states that have murders. And this was the one that I found that I was interesting!
Oh my goodness.
Fascinating. And it concerned me just a little bit,
That you were so excited to find a murder?
No, the fact that the only thing that I read was the fact that the father was picked up, and then all of them were dead. And honestly, now that I'm reading through this, what happened to Willie?
I guess Willie kind of went, "Hey, I got $200. Can I buy a ticket?"
Man's really just disappeared. I don't know where he is. I guess Richard did say I only have a son named Willie, and to his new wife, and that's kind of fucked up, I'll be honest.
That's more than...
Why didn't you just say I had 3 kids?
Hey, I've got
you don't have to
3 kids.
You don't have to interact with them whatsoever. They're with Emma. Right. Emma was an alcoholic.
What made you go, "Hey, let's you know what? Instead of having a normal person would do a divorce and letting everybody go their separate ways, no, I'm gonna kill them."
He's actually a really handsome man. The pictures, the drawings that they have of him, he's pretty handsome. But your handsomeness should not mean that you go out and murder your children. I love how he's just I didn't want May to die. I don't want her to die. I just wanted the Emma and Irene to die. Why did you want Irene? What's wrong? What's wrong with Irene, the middle child? Good Lord. The middle child always gets the hate. I'm not the middle child. My sister is. However, personally, I think the middle child is definitely the one that you should be focusing on.
Right?
And not trying to murder.
What makes a person go, "Yeah, it'd be a better idea to just murder this person"?
Just murder one child. Only one. Just one of them.
How about we don't murder any children, Lily?
No. I'm saying, his thought process, he was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna murder the one.
Just be like, oh yeah, I forgot I had this other kid to the new wife.
He's over here, he's just like, during his last month in jail, he admitted to his brother in a guard that he paid John Wiley, an associate, to murder Emma and Irene. Why only them two? Why only Emma and Irene? Why only Irene out of the siblings? Like, that's the one thing that's driving me insane. Like, why?
Why the middle kid?
Do you have, like, did he have, like, a grudge? I wish I could talk to him and be like, sir, like, what was your thought process here?
Specifically, why did you want to kill your middle child? Why not
the middle
oldest?
child? Why is the middle child the one that you decided? Yes, that sounds right. That sounds about right. Sir.
I don't know. Lord. Murders are weird.
I don't understand. And then he goes and intoxicates May. He's like, gets her drunk and it says, go drown in a fucking lake.
Whoa, what?
He intoxicated May and drowned her in the East Lake. That's what he did to May.
Huh.
In order to get her, like, easier to murder, because obviously he can't do it on his own.
I mean, fair enough. Fair enough.
I
Maybe he thought he was being an... Because there's different kinds of, like, murderers, right? Especially when it comes to, like, serial killers. Which, he's not a serial killer by definition. Because a serial killer is somebody who kills 2 or more people, and then also they have a certain amount of time in between. It's not just, like, within a week they kill 3. Just once. It's, like, usually, like, one victim, and then, like, 3 weeks later they kill another, and then 3 weeks later they kill another, because it's a cycle.
I already have the Alaska murder.
Oh, am I not surprised?
I'm ready. I'm ready for the next.
Well, the next one I have chosen is Florida, so we'll see how that goes. But, because I'm going to tell you about a cryptid instead of a super paranormal, it's going to be a cryptid.
Gosh, okay. Let's go to your Missouri story.
So I have had the pleasure of going to this place. It's called Pythian Castle. It's located in Springfield, Missouri, and it has some interesting history, but when I had gone with my family, I didn't know it was haunted. And the tour guide decided not to talk about the fact it was haunted, so now I'm talking about it.
But we're just gonna skip over that.
Really, she did. So,
just like, this isn't imperative. You know, we'll find out eventually.
Right. So, the Pythian Castle is located in Springfield, Missouri, and it was built in the year 1911 to 1913 by an organization called the Knights of Pythias, which I heard incorrectly the first time I heard, and I thought you said the Knights of Piss. So, it was originally meant to be a home for the widows and orphans of its members, and it was called the Pythian Castle. It's 3 stories.
Sweet.
Oh, yeah. It's 3 stories tall. It's 27,000 square feet. And, right? Me and my 900 square feet little thing. This is roomy. And it was built to look like a stone castle, because they really liked the look of that sort of thing. Tower and dungeon included. Which I got to go into the dungeon and the tower, and I have specific things to tell you about them later.
I love the dungeon.
Nope, you don't like the dungeon. I'll tell you why later.
No, I strive to have a dungeon in my house, to be honest.
Same, but, not this one.
Not that one.
Not that
Obviously
one.
not.
Not with the ghosts in there. So, this area only originally contained, like, one building, the castle itself, but it, later, the army really went ahead and said, oh yeah, we're gonna build 200 buildings around your castle.
Why?
it was kind of a hospital. It had a specific name, but apparently my computer deleted it. But the buildings were to help servicemen heal during World War II. So this is all going on during World War II. I believe it was in 1939 that they came over and they're like, hey, we're building stuff around your castle now. So the army started using the Pythian Castle as a place for servicemen to heal. But they didn't pay for it until 1942. So they were using it for like a whole year, not paying for anything. And they bought the house for $29,500. Which is kind of a deal. So, they then decided, instead to make it a hospital, they decided to renovate it into the O'Reilly Service Club for enlisted men. And the castle, instead of being called a castle, was now known as Building 501. And behind the castle, there was this laundry building, and it became a guardhouse. However, we did not get to go into the guardhouse because there's some issues with it. The guardhouse was used as a prisoner of war facility that had at least 3 wards of prisoners. And there were POWs, German and Japanese POWs, that were kept there. And it was the wards, the POWs themselves were usually used for labor duties, but the guardhouse did have cells and everything. Mm-hmm. Now keep in mind that I said German POWs too. Yeah. Because you're gonna hear an EFP later.
Oh no!
I'll insert it into the audio later for our listeners to hear. But it's a very short clip. You'll find out. So remember how I said the castle was kind of turned into a club?
Yeah.
So the O'Reilly Service Club boasted to be the best club in the country.
Oh wow.
Right? It had a theater, which we got to go into, pool rooms, and a bowling alley in the basement. Right before the dungeon. Music listening rooms, a library, sitting lounges, and a ballroom. Famous entertainers, military icons, like a lot of really famous people came here. And in 1947, after the war had ended, it became a veterans tuberculosis hospital. However, the VA vacated it in 1952, and the property went up on the market. The Department of Defense allowed the Southwestern Power Administration to use a lot of the buildings for storage, and in 1955, it was just kind of like the land was sold. The National Guard obtained property around the castle. Like, a lot of places got, like, stuff. Like, land from around the castle. And then, in 1980, it shortly became, like, the Ozarks Area Community Action Corps. It was meant to be, like, working with disabled people. And then it was sold at auction a few years later in 1994 to Gene and Rhonda. They just kept the castle, realized it was a pain in the butt to heat, sold it in 2000. And Linda and Frank became its new owners and planned to use the building for work with the disabled as well. But now it's owned by Tamara. They got rid of the building 3 years later. So in 2003, it was sold to Tamara, and it was closed for renovations, but now it has tours for its history and tours for its ghosts. So that was the history. And now it's time for the spookies.
Oh boy.
Yep. So let's begin with some of the things I brushed over. The castle did have POWs, like I said. What I didn't say was that they were tortured and interrogated, which almost always ended in horrible deaths. So there are those ghosts. And then earlier in the history, we had patients, remember? The dying patients?
Mm-hmm.
But then finally we had orphans who were horribly mistreated.
Oh, no.
Uh-huh. So officially, the haunting was documented to begin around the 1940s. So around the time that soldiers started being in the area, when things were starting to be disturbed. So the area around the castle was beginning to get disturbed.
Mm-hmm.
Weird things began happening, such as, quote, hearing voices call out when no one else was around. Objects such as books in the library began moving on their own. Being touched by unseen people. And even seeing ghostly figures of children from time to time inside and outside the castle. End quote. But wait, there's more. So, because it has a documentary after it too. Right? Quote, similar reports of unexplainable activity continued through the years as the castle was used for offices and finally vacated. The castle sat empty for some time until it bought by its current owner, Tamara, not Camaro, in 2003. Once she moved in and started to bring back life to the castle, the experiences continued, so the area was disturbed once again, and have been witnessed by Tamara, friends, family, guests, and paranormal investigators. The experiences over the years have included the full realm of textbook atypical haunting content. Such content has included visual sightings, so full apparitions, like seeing full people that do not exist anymore. Audible experiences, disembodied voices, environmental changes, hot and cold and hot spots, and unexplainable areas with moving EMF. Olfactory. Yes. So it's walking by you and talking.
That's just wonderful.
Mm-hmm. So, olfactory occurrences, unexplainable smells, physical events, which include being touched and things moving on their own, and a wide array of empathic experiences. Keep in mind that. Unexplainable extreme emotional feelings by many. End quote. So that being said, when my family and I were in the dungeon, I didn't know it was a dungeon. Immediately, like a wave of grief happened. Like, I was feeling it that day, and I'm not a super emotional person. When on tours like that. And I felt like a wave of grief. The tour guide hadn't told us anything, but as soon as I saw this chair, keep in mind it's like this old chair, right? Just a wooden chair. And it doesn't look weird. It just looks like a chair. And it's in a closed off room. I started panicking. It was just like a normal chair. It turns out someone had been interrogated there and died. So for whatever reason, I almost had a panic attack in there. I was freaking out. And my mother and I felt super cold being down there in that specific room when the heat was on full blast. Mm-hmm. Then we went to the tower. And to kind of give you some explanation, so we go up this super long staircase. I'm going to take you here at some point. We go up, right? We're going to go up the tower and you'll see why. It's like this kind of circular-ish room. It's got like a child's rug. It's got children's books. It's got all these things. And I felt really sad going in there. And the only other room I had emotionally felt something was the dungeon. Something had gone on in this room. I don't remember specifically what the guy said. But I plan to go back and find out. But back to the story. An investigation was taking place by the Booth brothers in 2006. And they got an EVP of someone saying abusage, which, just so you know, means incorrect use of language. So I guess the ghost was saying you're using the word wrong?
Nice. Got called out by a fucking...
Grammar police ghosts. Get it trending. Which I'll play for our listeners later, but, Lily, guess what?
What?
I sent in the server, I think.
Oh, is that what it is?
Uh-huh. That's the EVP of a German ghost saying the word abusage.
Alright, give me a minute. I'm gonna listen to it, okay?
Go for it.
Turn up the volume. That's the German ghost?
Mm-hmm.
Do they have any more?
So, the only reason it was on the website was because it wasn't used in the documentary.
Oh, okay.
But if I go to that website, it's called Children of the Grave. Nice. Good job, Hollywood. So...
Nice.
It's a documentary about Pythian Castle a little bit. So you can hear some of the EFP that they do. They talk a lot. When I take you on this tour, you'll understand just how much of the history, but we'll go specifically on the ghost tour as well. And we'll see what happens. But it is called Children of the Grave. Keith Age, Shane Brown, Christopher St. Booth, and one other person, I guess, did this. Oh, here we go. Oh, no. Oh, no. Apparently it's gonna have a sequel, this documentary, taking place in the Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Which, as soon as you say sanatorium, you know stuff is gonna happen there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that is the Pythian Castle. Hope you enjoyed the Pythian Castle. And Lily's murder.
The cool little topics that we talked about today, and I hope you enjoy the next episode because I'm really excited for it.
Yes, and we're gonna start recording that in 3, 2... No. Anyway, have a great day, guys, and I'm gonna cut out what I said earlier. Bye!